Ever get this, like, I don't know, this pull, like you're meant for something bigger, but the path is totally unclear?
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what we're diving into today. We've got all these sources, and they're all about like recognizing signs from God, those moments when you feel this nudge toward a huge life change.
Right.
And sometimes those nudges, way more like a whisper than, a booming voice from above.
Totally.
So how do we even listen for that? How do we know it's God and not just like, ooh, the grass is greener syndrome?
You've hit on something huge there.
Sure.
These sources, they're really clear. This isn't just switch jobs, move cities. It's way deeper.
Okay.
It's about this internal shift, aligning with your true, like, capital T, true purpose.
I like that.
And sometimes, honestly, that means letting go of stuff that's not serving that purpose anymore, even if it looks good on the outside.
Okay, letting go.
Yeah.
That could be tough. One source actually uses the phrase, you are about to leave. What kind of things might someone need to leave behind when they're answering this kind of call?
It's different for everyone, obviously,
Hmm.
but it could be, I don't know, relationships that you've outgrown, limiting beliefs you've held for too long,
Yeah,
maybe even a job that's comfy but not actually fulfilling.
comfy handcuffs. I feel that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's this example in one of the sources. Someone leaves this super secure job to start a nonprofit. And it wasn't on a whim.
Right.
It was this deep yearning. Like, I'm meant for something more aligned with what I believe in.
That makes me think about preparation. Even if we don't see it at the time, it's like we're being prepped by our own experiences for what we're ultimately supposed to do.
100%. And the source material, it's all over this. It's like that story of Moses, right?
Okay, yeah.
Chilling with sheep for 40 years before leading the Israelites out of Egypt. Who'd have thought those years were the training montage?
Right. Talk about a hidden curriculum. But here's the thing I keep bumping up against. How do we tell the difference between a true calling and just wanting to shake things up because we're bored?
Oh, I've so been there.
We all get restless,
Yeah.
right?
All the time.
Mm.
But the source, it draws a really clear line. Seeking fame, chasing money for the sake of it, or like manipulating others,
Yeah.
that's not it. Those aren't aligned with a real calling. A real calling is about being part of something way bigger than us,
Right.
contributing to what one source calls God's kingdom and justice.
So it's less about what we get out of it and more about how we can serve, even if it means things get hard, even if we have to sacrifice.
100%. It's like, okay, imagine a mosaic, right?
Okay.
Each piece, even the tiny weird-shaped ones, they all matter to the whole picture. Our lives are like that. Our callings, our service, it's all part of this huge thing, way bigger than us.
Mm.
So the sources, they give us some signs to watch for. One is this, like, I don't know, this low-key restlessness.
Okay.
Even when things seem like, fine, good job, comfy life, but something's missing.
Totally. It's that whole comfort zone thing, right? Nothing grows there or whatever.
And a lot of times that restlessness, it comes with these dreams,
Hmm.
visions of a different life.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you're daydreaming about a career 180.
Yeah.
Or like finally pursuing that creative thing you shoved down inside.
Yep.
The sources say those aren't just fantasies. It's your soul, like trying to get your attention.
It's that what if feeling. What if I actually did the thing? But then the fear kicks in and it's easier to just be like, nah, that's crazy talk.
Oh, tell me about it. Fear and doubt. They're part of the deal.
Yeah.
But the sources, they're big on those chance encounters.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Those meetings, opportunities, they feel like more than coincidence.
More than,
Like the universe is trying to, I don't know, give you a little shove in the right direction.
dude, those synchronicities, I've totally had those. It's
Yeah.
wild. It's like, bam, the exact person you need to meet, the perfect book falls into your lap. Have you had those?
All the time. Another sign the sources talk about is this, like wave of courage or clarity out of nowhere,
Okay.
especially with tough decisions. It's like, boom, the fog clears and you just know no W, even if it's scary, even if it makes zero sense to anyone else.
So we've got restlessness, we've got dreams, synchronicities, and this sudden knowing. It's about like connecting those dots, seeing where they point. But let's be real for a sec. Answering a call like this, it's not always sunshine and roses, right? The sources don't pretend it's easy. There's fear, there's doubt, people pushing back because they don't get it.
Right. One source puts it like this. It's like building a house. You can picture the finished thing, but it takes work,
Right.
effort, dirty hands. Same with this. Answering a call from God, it means getting uncomfortable, facing those fears, trusting that you're being guided, even when you can't see the whole plan.
100%. It's so easy to get caught up in what other people think,
Yeah.
or to wonder if we're even capable of doing the thing. What if we fail? What if we're just not good enough?
Such valid fears. The sources talk about that. But here's the thing they emphasize. God equips those fears. He calls.
Okay.
He doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. It's not about having it all figured out already.
Right.
It's about willingness, saying yes, even when it's terrifying, and trusting he'll provide what's needed.
That is really reassuring. It makes me think of the stories in these sources, too. Moses, Samuel, Isaiah.
Oh, yeah?
These weren't perfect people. They had their own doubts, their own moments of, wait, what? But they chose to trust something bigger, and they were used in amazing ways.
Exactly. We're not alone in this. We all struggle, but God can work through our messy, imperfect selves. That's kind of the point, right?
Right.
It's not about being perfect. It's about surrendering to the process, trusting the journey, and being open to being, like, transformed by it.
I love that. Okay, we've covered a lot. The signs of a calling, the tough parts, the reassurance that we're not in this alone. But I bet some people listening are like, okay, cool, but now what? What do I do with all this?
$1 million question. That
Yeah.
gets to the heart of it. Obedience.
Ooh, that word, though.
Yeah,
Obedience. It can feel kind of intense, right? Like, am I giving up my own choices here?
totally get that. And the sources, they're careful about this.
Yeah.
It's not about blind obedience. It's about aligning your actions with what you value most.
Yeah.
The stuff that resonates with that call you're feeling. Living with integrity, walking the walk, not just talking about it.
Right. Got to walk it out. But the sources also say we might have to make some choices that other people just don't get.
Totally. And that's where discernment comes in.
Discernment. Yeah, that feels like extra important when we're talking about these big life choices. So how do these sources say we can figure out if a choice is really part of our calling or if it's, coming from somewhere else, somewhere less helpful?
They talk about sacred pauses.
Ooh.
Those moments where you get quiet, you actually pray about it, and you really tune in to that inner voice, that guidance coming from, something bigger.
Okay.
It's asking yourself, is this choice? Is it about serving? About contributing to something beyond me? Or am I just trying to get something, avoid something, look good? We got to be real with ourselves, even when it's hard.
I love that, sacred pauses, because it's true. It's so easy to just get swept up in everything and forget to, actually listen. It's almost like we got to put those pauses in our calendars.
Right.
As important as any meeting.
100%.
Yeah.
And they're not like a one-time thing. It's ongoing.
Yeah.
Always checking in. What's motivating me right now? And then adjusting if you need to.
Yeah.
It's a journey, not a finish line.
Speaking of journeys, something that really hit me in these sources is how sometimes answering the call means leaving stuff behind. Jobs, relationships, even just old ways of thinking that aren't doing us any favors. That can be scary, even heartbreaking sometimes.
It's huge GE. One source, they compare to a snake shedding skin. Like, it's got to happen for you to grow, but it's going to be weird. It's going to be uncomfortable.
Right.
But here's the key. You're not just left hanging. There's something bigger holding you, guiding you. And so often, what you get in return for what you let go of, it's way better than you could have imagined when you were clinging to the old stuff.
There's that trust thing again, letting go of what we can see, even if it's not working, to reach for what we can't see yet.
And that takes guts. But the sources remind us we're not the first ones to do this. Look through history. People who answered the call, even when it meant walking into the unknown, shaking things up, going against the grain. Moses, Esther, Harriet Tubman. Regular people who trusted something bigger and changed the world because of it.
It's true. Their stories are incredible. And it makes me think about how this isn't just about us, It's about how our choices ripple out.
100%. When we're living on purpose, when we choose courage, it inspires other people to do the same. Like this chain reaction of awesome.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you hope people listening take away with them as they figure out their own calling?
This. The sources are clear that every single one of us has something unique to offer. Your gifts, what lights you up, even your toughest experiences. They matter. The world needs what you have. Don't downplay that.
So good. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about being open to listening to that whisper, trusting, and taking those steps, even if you can't see the whole staircase. Thanks for being here for this deep dive, everybody. We'll catch you next time.